Well, hello there, Earthling. Today I'm reviewing the Sennheiser ME2, which is a lavalier microphone that costs about $130. I did buy it with my own money, and if you want to check it out, I'll throw some links in the description down below. All of my recording settings will be listed in the description, as well as the doobly-doo. And now let's talk about what comes in the bag. Oh my gosh, you're going to get the microphone, the necessary microphone alligator clip thing, and a little bit of documentation. Then as far as the build quality, I think this thing feels perfectly fine. It has a metal grill at the top, and then the rest of the body is made out of plastic. It is very lightweight. There are tension reliefs at both ends of the cable. The cable feels like a relatively sturdy rubber. It comes in around 5.5 feet or 1.65 meters, and it terminates into a 3.5 millimeter TRS plug, and whether you care or not, it is made in the Philippines. Now up on screen I have all of the specs, and I will also list them in the description in case you want to take a closer look at anything. Now I'm spinning around the ME2, which is an omnidirectional microphone, so we shouldn't hear any change in this direction. What if I talk into the top? What if I talk into the rear of it? What if I talk all the way around it and then talk into the top again? I still have the mic about a hang 10 from my mouth, and I doubt we'll be able to pop it, but let's give it a shot. Please provide pizza pronto. Please prepare provided pizza pronto. If I breathe directly down, maybe we can hit it. Now I'm typing on a Gateron Blue Switch keyboard to see how much of that it picks up. And gamers, now these are the sad W and spacebar keys. Now here's how the ME2 sounds about 7 inches from my mouth in a relatively well-treated room. And now here's how the ME2 sounds in the exact same position in a completely untreated room. Next, let's hear the microphone in a couple of common lav mic positions. First up, I have the lav about 7 inches below my mouth in the center of my chest. This should avoid some of the chin shadow and give you a brighter sound, and this is position number 1. The second position is one of the most common that I see online, and that is with the lav clipped directly to the collar of my t-shirt, directly below my chin. This is going to sound a bit darker because it doesn't have a direct line to my mouth, and here's how this sounds. Now on position 3, I have the microphone still clipped to the collar of my button down, but I have it off center and I have the collar a bit more open to try to get the mic off center and get a more direct line of sight to my mouth, and hopefully learn how to speak and hopefully get a better sound. That's position 3. Now I have the microphone clipped directly to the bill of my cap on the underside. This should give the mic a much more direct line of sight to my mouth and hopefully yield a much better and much clearer sound. Position 4 on the bill of the cap. How do you do, fellow kids? For position 5, I am using what I call the TikTok position. I am hand-holding the microphone about 5 inches from my mouth, and this drives every pro sound person insane, so I love including this test. This is the TikTok position, and it should yield the clearest and brightest sound. Yes, I am fully aware that I'm creepy and weird, but currently I am 6 feet away from the Canon 90D, and what you're hearing are the internal microphones. I have an air conditioning running in the background, and I want to give you a real-world situation where a lavalier microphone could improve the audio. And now I have the lav mic clipped to the collar of my shirt, running over a 3.5mm extension cord directly into the mic input of the Canon 90D, and here's how it sounds. And here's another sample of a camera's internal microphones about 6 feet away from the sound source with a bunch of background noise going on. It is far from ideal. And here's another sample of the lav on the collar of my shirt. It should be giving you a much more direct sound and also reducing the background noise quite a lot because the microphone is just much closer to the sound source. So moral of the story, record in creepy dark rooms, and also get mic close to sound source, improve sound, very good. Now I have the microphone clipped to the collar of my shirt, and I'm recording in my studio, which you've heard about a million times, but let's go ahead and hear how this microphone sounds in a few different rooms. Now here is how the microphone sounds being recorded in a very reverberant bathroom. It sounds absolutely god-awful, but at least now you know how this performs in a worst-case scenario. Now I'm recording in a kitchen, which is also extremely reverberant, but it's not as bad as the bathroom. This is likely to be a much more realistic scenario where somebody's just recording in an untreated space, nothing on the floor, nothing on the walls. Here is how it sounds. Not ideal, but probably pretty realistic. And now I'm recording in the spot where I do all of my untreated space recording, so you've heard this before. It is carpeted, but there's nothing on the walls, and it is a very large room. This is another probably fairly realistic scenario that this mic would be used in. Now here is how the ME2 sounds running directly into the Zoom F2 recorder. This is not the Bluetooth version. This doesn't have any kind of gain setting, so make sure to check the lower third and see what I am doing to this in post. Now I have the ME2 running through the Rode AI Micro 3.5mm audio interface. Input level is set at 100%, recording 24-bit 48 kHz, no processing. Here I have a 75 Hz high-pass filter just because we can, and now I have a 150 Hz high-pass filter just because we can. And again, this is the AI Micro, raw dogging it, no processing, gain at 100%. Now, just because I want to make you suffer just like Sad Satan made us suffer in the little tool shed in the backyard, nobody's going to get that reference. I am running the ME2 into the Sabrent USB sound card microphone input, 16-bit 48 kHz, input level 100%. There you go. $5 sound card, $130 mic. Now, just because I'm a wacky kind of guy, I am running the ME2 into the Rode VXLR Pro, which converts XLR to 3.5 and 48 volts to plug-in power. That is running into the Focusrite 18i20 2nd gen. Gain is set at 3 o'clock, 24-bit, 48 kHz. I think I said everything. Let's hear another sample. Now I have the ME2 running into the microphone input of a TRRS splitter, which is then running into a 3.5mm to USB-C adapter to connect it to my phone. I am recording the microphone directly in the Rode Reporter app. Gain or input level is set at 100%. This likely doesn't sound great, but here is how it's sounding in this jerry-rigged configuration. Now I have the ME2 running into the microphone input of a TRRS splitter, which is then running directly into the input-output in a 2019 MacBook Pro. My input level is set at 50%, recording 24-bit, 48 kHz, and here is how it sounds in this configuration. Now I have the ME2 plugged directly into the Canon 90D's microphone input as far as I could get it. Input level is set at 35 to 45%, and here is how it sounds in this very unideal setup. Now let's compare the Sennheiser ME2 to a bunch of other lav mics just so we can hear how it sounds. Starting on the Sennheiser ME2, running through the Rode VXLR Plus, gain on the 18i20 at 3 o'clock. Let's hear the first comparison. First up, I'm on the Zoom LM-F2, which is the lav that came with the F1 and the F2. It goes for about $40. Same position, same settings, $40 versus $130. Let's go ahead and do some more. Back on the Sennheiser ME2, here is a palate cleanser. The mic is 7 inches below my mouth in the center of my chest. Let's move on. Next, I'm on the Shure MVL in the exact same position. This is running through a TRRS to TRS adapter, and then the exact same settings, exact same devices. This costs about $70, and there you go, MVL versus ME2. Here's another sample on the Sennheiser ME2 to function as a palate cleanser. That is enough. Let's do some more. Now I'm on the Rode Lavalier Go, which is in the exact same position, running through the exact same devices with the exact same settings. This microphone costs about $80, and there you go, Rode Lavalier Go against Sennheiser ME2. Alright, here is the ME2 yet again. You have heard me talk on it. That is enough. Blah, blah, blah. Next one. Next, I'm on the Rode Lavalier 2, which is Rode's newer Lav mic. It is in the exact same position, exact same devices, exact same settings. This microphone costs about $100, and here is how it sounds compared to the ME2. Which one do you like better? Let's do some more. Here I am on the ME2, yapping away again. That is all I ever do. It's all I'm good for. Let's go to another one. Now we're jumping up in price quite a bit to the Countryman B6. It's in the same position, same devices, same gain settings. This microphone costs about $370 dues, so almost 3x the price of the Sennheiser ME2. You're paying for it because it is so teeny tiny. But there you go, Countryman B6 against the Sennheiser ME2. Here we are on the Sennheiser ME2 penultimate palate cleanser. That is enough. Let's go to another one. Now I am on the Sanken COS 11D. The microphone's in the same position, running through the same devices with the exact same settings. Now we have officially 3x'd the price. This microphone costs about $390. Does it sound 3 times better than the ME2? You tell me. There you go, that is the Sanken. Let's do 2 more. Alright, I'm back on the ME2 to clear out your ear holes and let you hear how it sounds. That's enough. Let's go to another one. Now I am on the Shure TL48. The microphone's in the same position. Not running through the same devices because I am using the Shure TA4F to XLR adapter. Then everything else is the same. 18I20, gain at 3 o'clock. This microphone costs $400 if we exclude the converter. So a lot more than the ME2. You tell me, does it sound $270 better? I don't know. That's enough on this one. Let's go back and do one more. And we have one final microphone to go, so this is the last palate cleanser. Let's go to the last microphone right now. I am on the Neumann, Neumann U87 AI, a multi-pattern large diaphragm studio condenser microphone, about 6 inches off of the front of my mouth. Ergo, this is a direct and fair comparison. This costs $3,700. I am on the cardioid pad or no pad, no filter, gain at 11 o'clock. And just in case you want to sing in Taking Back Sunday or you want to use the 87 as a lav mic, here's how it sounds in this awesome position on the omnidirectional pattern. Okay, for $130, I think this is a really nice sounding lavalier option. And first up, let's discuss the pros, and number one for me is the brighter sound of this microphone. I just think that yields a much more pleasing and usable sound right out of the mic in a lot of the standard positions, where some of the other lavs I compared it against sounded a little bit dull and dead, so I prefer this brighter character of the ME2. And number two would be the build quality feels fine. Then as far as cons, number one for me is the self-noise of this thing. It clocks in at a whopping 32 dBA. By large diaphragm condenser standards, that is the worst performance ever. For lav mics, it's still not great, but it's not as bad as it seems. A lot of them are well above 20 dBA, but this still is relatively high. Also, the packaging leaves quite a bit to be desired. You just get it in a plastic bag, and in that bag you get no accessories. You do get the microphone clip, but you don't get any windscreen, any pop filter, any dead cats, nothing. It is just the microphone and the clip. And the last FYI, I point this out with every lav mic, it is omnidirectional, which means it is very unforgiving with reverb and background noise, so place it very carefully. And now, what are my overall thoughts and opinions of the Sennheiser ME2? As far as the overall sound, I would classify this as a brighter lavalier microphone. In the lower frequencies, you get plenty of body, but it doesn't sound overpowering or muddy. In the mids, nothing is popping out as unnatural or odd. It is nice sounding there. And then you're getting a boost in the upper frequencies, which does give it this brighter character. And if you're holding the mic directly in front of your face, it can be a lot. But in some of the more standard lav mic positions, like the center of the chest or on the collar of the shirt, I think that boost is really beneficial and makes it sound more detailed as opposed to overly dull and muffled and dead. And to wrap up, would I recommend the Sennheiser ME2? Kind of. Tonally, I think this microphone sounds great for a lav. I really like the brighter character on the collar of the shirt, where it still sounds very usable to me. In the center of the chest, tonally, I think it sounds great. But the reason I'm saying I only kind of recommend it is the self noise. 32 dBA is a really high self noise for a microphone. I will shut up and let you listen to that. That is just a lot of noise, so I need to point that out. If you're somebody who is looking for a relatively affordable lav mic that does have a brighter sound profile, and you do not need noiseless, super sterile sounding recordings, you can get by with 32 dBA of self-noise, then I say go for it, because tonally, I think this thing sounds great. But if you're looking for a lav mic that's going to offer you noiseless recordings, or if you're looking for a lav that offers you a darker sound, this ain't it.